Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. The Red Winter is a debut historical fantasy novel centered on the legend of the Beast of Gévaudan, a sort of werewolf, monstrous figure of 18th century France. It's the story of Sebastian Graves, one of my favorite types of character, a long-standing, long-suffering, sort of wandering adventurer, scholar, philosopher, witch, sorcerer, who is being drawn into adventures in the long span of his immortal life. He is possessed by an ancient spirit, Sarmodel, with whom he has a really close, exciting sort of relationship. They have a great conviviality to them, but you see the complications of that as well. It's like it's a really wonderful book. It's like if you read Jonathan Stroud's Bartimaeus trilogy when you were growing up, as I did. It's like a version of that, but for grown-ups, and it is definitely for grown-ups. It does not skip on the gore, it does not skip on the monstrosity, it does not skip on the fact that these are adults with adult needs and adult wants, because it is an MM book. Sebastian is a sort of bisexual, pansexual, I have lived for thousands of years, and so yes, I will sample, every fruit of the tree kind of guy. And over the course of this novel, he is engaged with Antoine, the son of the Baron of Auxerre, there in Gévaudan, involved in this hunt for the beast that's plaguing that region. And then we have all of the wonderful complications that emerge from that, it being 18th century France, and just really nuanced, sort of fun, pulpy, grand-scale adventure. It was a tremendously fun book to read. Very voicey, very historically researched, fun magic. The sorts of characters that I really like to enjoy were taking place over a couple of different time frames, time point of views, where we have the original hunt back in the 1760s, and then the present day of the 1780s, wherein Antoine's son Jacques comes to Sebastian and says, "Oh no, the beast is back. The beast is back in town." And so we get all of that gradual unfolding of what occurred in the past and how that ties into the present moment. And then also we look all the way back to sort of 300 years before, and the martyrdom of Joan of Arc, and the way that that plays into this happening in the present moment of the 1780s, on the cusp of the French Revolution. It really is taking a long look at some of these iconic moments in French history and folklore and giving them that magical twist. And it's that beautiful sort of debut thing, a standalone with series potential. As I've said, Sebastian Graves is a type of guy who I really like, who I always want to be reading about, the sort of thing like my character, the Peacock Wizard, who you can encounter in Neon Hemlock's anthology Shatter the Sun, coming this spring, link down below. And so he's the type of guy who I want to see more adventures with. As I've said, he's sort of thousands of years old. He's got a history going back to ancient Rome, and forward to there. There are so many potential interesting stories to tell with a character like that, and one that I'm really hoping we'll get to see in the years to come, because as I've said, it's just so much fun, so deliciously voicey and exciting, with footnotes and history, and the sort of book that I would have been really, really overwhelmed and delighted to read when I was, a teen, and one that I am, like, all the more delighted to have as an adult. Like, what a absolute treat. And so, of course, we had to have a drink. Our drink today is the Beast, named for the Beast of Gévaudan, our central antagonistic monstrous figure, this sort of prototypical werewolf. And we're going to start with an ounce and a half of brandy. Do not recommend giving this to Sebastian. He is a teetotaler for a good reason. But you know what? It's 18th century France. We're going to stick with the brandy. I am using today an American brandy, Copper and Kings, made very local to me here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's got that wonderful, great brandy scent, but also a lovely bit of vanilla from being aged in bourbon barrels. Just that wonderful aroma that I'm experiencing right now. You cannot go wrong if you choose a brandy like this, or if you choose an Armagnac. It'll be a little bit harsher, a little bit more assertive, but an Armagnac would be a particularly apropos brandy to choose in making your Beast. And to our brandy, we'll start to add our modifiers. We're going to add half an ounce of sweet vermouth. You say, oh, Elias, this is Carpano Antica. It's Italian. Yeah, because when we meet Sebastian Graves, he's in northern Italy. And so, yes, we will not be using a French vermouth today. We'll be using the Italian as he journeys with Jacques from Corvano all the way down to sort of south-central France and the region of Gévaudan. And then we will add, if I can open the jar, always goes right like that. This is when you need the Beast of Gévaudan, some big 7-foot-tall werewolf monster, to open up your jars of honey syrup. We're gonna get our honey syrup. Gonna get our honey syrup, and we'll get 1/4 of an ounce of that into there. Just a touch of that honeyed sweetness. We've got beautiful mountain nymphs and sage femmes, sort of local hedge witches brewing herbal concoctions and strange magics, and conjured demons and succubi bound in service. It's just so much fun. It's such a treat. Then we will add 3/4 of an ounce of blood orange juice. Beautiful. Just like that. We don't use orange juice in a ton of cocktails, but again, it's the Beast of Gévaudan. It's red, it's blood red. It's going to bring that bit of citrusy quality, a bit of brightness, but a bit of sweetness as well. And that's going to sort of balance with the sweetness of our honey syrup, which we've only used just a bit of, and the more assertive alcohol-forward flavors of our brandy and our sweet vermouth. Finally, I'm going to add a couple of dashes of lavender bitters. Everything's wanting to stick today. Lovely. Must be the humidity. We'll get our lavender bitters. I am using the strong water lavender bitters made in Denver, Colorado. But really, you can find some great lavender bitters all sorts of places. This is going to add some herbal notes. Again, we've got this wonderful bit of lavender that will occur again and again throughout the novel. That beautiful purple of the southern part of France. We're going to get a couple of dashes in there. As always with bitters, easy to add more, hard to add less. Because we've got some really assertive ingredients with our honey syrup and our sweet vermouth in there, we're going to want to add a little more bitters. But again, there's no bishop who's going to come and say you have committed gross cocktail heresies if you choose to add fewer bitters, or if you choose to add more. Do it to your taste. We will add our ice to our drink. Beautiful. Always add our ice last because we never know when we're going to be hunting an evil demonic werewolf. Give that a stout tap. Perfect. And we will strain into a stemmed cocktail glass. Beautiful. And garnish that with a twist of that blood orange peel. Perfect. Get that just so. Lovely. And there you have it. This is The Beast, inspired by The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. The Red Winter is available today. A huge thank you to the publisher Tor Books for sending me an advance copy so that I could talk about this book on review day. I had such a wonderful time with it. I know that all of you will as well. I highly encourage you to check it out. I've got a link to snag it in my description down below, as well as a link to purchase my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails, to level up your game night, and the anthology I have a short story in that will be coming later this year, Shatter the Sun, Queer Tales of Untold Adventure, a sword and sorcery anthology from the fine folks at Neon Hemlock. We've got links to various forms of social media, including Blue Sky and Instagram, where there is always a written version of today's recipe. Try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button. It makes me so happy when you do. Subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. We've got some great fantasy and science fiction heading to you in the next couple of weeks. I'm so excited to be sharing these titles with you. And until next time, cheers.